Welcome back to Monster Hunter Generations Ultimate Prowler Only. Last time we took on Hyper Glavenus and Hyper Uragon in G4. This time we'll be taking on the Tigrex that's just kind of been sitting there the last few times, and I did actually unlock another one, that way it wouldn't be by its lonesome today. We'll be taking on the new one first. The quest is called Appeal from Authority and has us hunting a Hyper Duramboros in the jungle. Go ahead and take the quest, have our fire weapon equipped, and I'll head on out. Alright, Hyper Duramboros is in this area, and you may be wondering why in particular I chose this one. It does kind of seem out of place maybe, other than it being a non-elemental monster to pair with our friend Tigrex. But the main point of me picking him is because he has around 22,000 health, which is definitely one of, if not the highest HP totals for a standard hyper monster that isn't, you know, like an Elder Dragon, which can't be hyper anyway, or the event quest, which I don't even know if they have any that high. So definitely a big, slow-moving HP sponge. I want to say maybe not as bad as Gammoth. At the very least, it's certainly more active, so you do have to stay on your toes, and there are many more opportunities for you to actually knock it over and hit it with Mega Boomerangs. I'm not sure how the down timings are going to work with it being hyper, if they're going to be really that much different at all. But with the standard version, I thought literally just before this, you had a chance for about 3 Mega Boomerangs while he was on the ground from this little spin here, if you're able to knock him over. It's a bit hard to get him before your buffs are up. That's going to hit me. Okay, didn't do that much damage though. Not sure what part he has to have charged up to actually make that do hyper damage. But you can get about 3 Mega Boomerangs out once he topples over from that, as long as it's the, you know, actual topple. And even mixed throughout his random attacks, there are still plenty of openings. You just do have to be careful because he has very wide hitboxes, as for a monster that large should have, if that makes any sense. He also has some decently fast combo attacks. Sometimes he'll slam his tail on the ground and then immediately turn around for a horn jab, which can catch you off guard. I think that is a G4 thing, and also in G4, I guess in G-Rank, just in general, he does have some faster cancels from his spins and stuff like that that don't leave him as vulnerable for as long. I don't remember if there's a low-rank Duramboros. I think there is, but certainly it was much more rigid than this is, with it being able to actually cancel spins and not, you know, stay on the ground for 5 seconds for you to get whatever you want out. There's an acorn down. I'm not giving him the respect he needs. Certainly the test hunt went fine with the regular version. I don't know how much the regular version had health-wise. I wouldn't have, probably like 17,000 if I had to guess. It certainly wouldn't have as much as this one. So that one took sub 15 minutes. So I'm expecting this one to be maybe sub 25. Okay, we're just going to keep getting hit. That's good. Tail does actually kind of curve a little bit sometimes, which is a bit odd. Do need to use some of this gauge I've got. It can be a little intimidating too sometimes. You may not want to end up using your gauge, but it is important to use, especially if you have a large amount of it. You know, you do want to take the risks and actually get the damage off, because I feel like that's what the fight is designed around, is taking risks, toppling him over, and then dealing a lot of damage to the humps. Thankfully, since we have ranged attacks, we can actually reach the humps. Blade Masters don't really have that option. You're going to be probably going mostly for the legs. That way you can get topples and trips like that, and then you can actually go over the hump. I'm not sure what the face hit zone is. I want to say it's okay. The problem is the horns are a not great hit zone, and you do, I believe, have to worry about bouncing off of them, so that isn't as reliable as just going for the legs. Legs are pretty easy to hit, which is probably another reason why he has so much HP. There's one of those tail spin cancels. I think I can actually get this out here. He may tackle me, but I'm going to try to delay this as much as possible. I may actually be leaving. That's pretty quick leave for the test hunt. Took like 5 minutes for him to actually leave his first area, so this one he's actually moving pretty quickly, which I guess is okay. This isn't the best section of the map to actually fight in, because it is a bit awkward, especially with the giant ledge in the middle. I'm going to actually try to get this out here while he's spinning, see if that works or not. Okay, well, I get hit by it, but it definitely ups your chances at the very least of knocking him over, as long as you don't get hit by his tail. You just have to correctly time that out, and even then, after he falls, you definitely get enough of an opening for at least 1 Mega Boomerang. It's actually moving still pretty slow there. I think I would have felt confident enough to actually get a second one out if I had known the timing on it. It's not like one of those attacks where he can pull out a tackle or something immediately. He can, but it's not going to come out so fast that you can't actually react to it afterwards. Just try to stay away from the trimmer hitbox here. Looks like he's maybe going to tackle here. Nope, just doing this very slowly. I think we'll get this out in time. I'll be able to dodge into it if I need to, and I will not actually have to, so I'll be able to get at least 2 here. The third one does come out while he's getting up, so it is a bit more risky, but for the most part, I found it fairly reliable to actually get out, like so. And pretty much our goal, we've broken the hump now finally, is piercing up through the back, hitting the humps. You, I believe, can break the tail with a cutting weapon, but I think, and I may be misremembering this, you need a blunt weapon to actually get the chunk off of it to carve it. And I may be thinking of something, another monster entirely, but I'm pretty sure that's the case with this monster. And you may need the tail break first and then a blunt weapon to cut it. I'm not sure. Or cut it. Break it off at the very least. Dodge into that. The tail does have individual attack frames on it, so it's not like you parry it once and you ignore it the entire time. You do have to worry about each individual roundabout. I'm not sure exactly where it resets, but it does pretty much stay active the entire time, even after blocking it or whatnot. Comes a tackle, dodge into it. Fairly simple. That tail does actually hit you from the tackle, but that's all pretty standard stuff from the high rank version as well. Keep spinning over here. Gonna jump into the air. Go ahead and get a Mega Boomerang out here for free. Try to pierce. You really want to try to get like clear sight lines like this towards the humps because that is less damage you're wasting. However, I don't think the body hit zones are the worst in the world. They're not great. You know, you're not going to obviously be aiming as that for or at that for your main damage. But you know, if it's taking piercing through that to get to the humps, I think that works perfectly fine. Try to dodge into this. We'll be hit by that. Again, as you can see, we don't just parry it and get to ignore it. That would be very nice, but can't always have that happen. Very good. I don't know why, but I seem to have muscle memory for the trimmer hitbox being a lot larger from the landing attack. Certainly looks like it would be larger, but I may be thinking of something like an EX Deviant with absurdly large trimmer hitboxes. Alright, he's doing this again. I think he recovers from that one maybe slightly faster. Nope. It's just gonna sit there. I mean, again, perfect option for us, and if I need more gauge, I'll just attack the legs. If I get a free topple, that's great. If I don't, oh well, I'm getting free gauge for it anyways. And I'm dealing extra damage to the legs, which is nice. We'll be swatted out of the air with that. Got my boomerang buff up, so that's perfectly fine. This little field plow attack. Try to lunge towards him and spin. He is a little one-sided, other than the spinning, obviously. So as long as you're on the side that he doesn't attack from, you'll have a bit of time to attack him. Obviously, he can swap back and forth, but it's, as you can see, not very fast. So you do have a bit of time between each attack for you to actually counter him and whatnot. Okay, that didn't even hit me. I'm not quite sure. I guess the bodies and the end of the tail maybe are the only hitboxes there, because you saw I absolutely touched that. Got a horn break there. Didn't really work too hard for it. It does break pretty quickly, and I think after it breaks, it at the very least clears out his face. And again, it may be a fine hit zone, it may share a hit zone with the face, but I'm pretty sure they're at the very least a bit harder than the face, and something you really don't want to be hitting too often, especially if you're like charging a greatsword or something. Though again, if you're using greatsword, you're probably just going for the legs to get a topple, so you can actually do big damage on the humps. All right, got him to limp away to this area at about 3 minutes and 30 seconds left, pretty much until the 20-minute mark. So maybe really won't take that much longer. Again, he's a very punishable monster once you know his tails. So as long as you're hitting enough hyper spots to actually gain enough gauge, you should be pretty much fine to just cheese him and get your win with Mega Boomerangs. And with that, I don't know. Really depends. Like, if you really went into raw damage and affinity only, you may actually have a faster time here since you're using so many Mega Boomerangs. I'm not quite sure how much the fire element is doing on his legs when I do actually have to attack the legs to get more gauge. Thankfully, our cats have been better with go fight win than they normally are, so I actually got a lot of chances to use it there. It really just depends. Sometimes he has a drought of attacks where you can't really attack him that easily. You just have to be really keen, and sometimes you do have to back away to get the range and the safety distance to actually use it. But for the amount of damage you're getting with each toss, it's certainly worth it, at the very least, in my opinion. Certainly feel the amount of power coming out of it. Tackled, that's okay. Like here at this distance, I'd certainly feel safe doing this. He's gonna run towards me. That's fine though. He's gonna do another plow attack. I think I knocked him out of it with the Mega Boomerang there, so that's good. Here comes the tackle. Just dodge into it. Go for the face. He's gonna land. Dodge that. I guess the trimmer doesn't apply very close at all. Always dodge just in case I am in the hitbox, but there we go. Not really as much as I expected. I remember he used to take 30 minutes. I can't speak today as per usual, but I remember him taking 30 minutes at a time. So certainly that's much faster. I'm sure we were very close to the, about 2 minutes off from the 20-minute mark, which is not terrible for the amount of HP you're chewing through. Just make sure you're taking advantage of the openings that you have, and you should be able to get through them pretty quickly. Either way, covered them up, and I'll meet you back at base. All right, back to the hub. Thunder Weapon has been equipped. We'll go for our food buffs. Hopefully I get them. See, yes. Then we'll go for Tigrex. It's been a long time coming. He's just kind of been sitting there waiting for it to happen, but it's finally time. The quest is called Tigrex Trap. Has us hunting a Hyper Tigrex in the Arctic Ridge. Go ahead and take the quest, and I'll head on out. All right, Hyper Tigrex. Thankfully, we have Adept, so it really trivializes most of his fight. At the very least, the homing charges are not scary, even if he is, hyper, so they still will deal a lot of damage if I miss the dodge timing on them. But thankfully, we don't have to worry about positioning too much. It's Tigrex. I don't really know what to say other than he's slower sometimes, he's faster sometimes, he hits really hard. And that's about it. We're going to go for the face as much as we can. If he's turned around, we'll do the Grimclaw thing where we go for the tail. Not really just a Grimclaw thing, just kind of a Tigrex thing. Dodge into any attacks he has and try to have a fun time. Just immediately growling once again. Not really sure if he has any interesting mechanics where he'll enrage. I don't know if breaking his claw actually makes him enrage or not. That's probably just a Shogun Cianatar thing and not anything that other monsters imitate. I know like Soul Seer has the bubble mechanic where if you touch a bubble he will enrage, but you don't have any bubbles. You're not a water monster. As much as you like to live in icy areas. I guess that would be an ice monster, but still. It's gonna bite. Well, body's a hitbox there, so you want to make sure we stay away from that. Going for the face. Just comes a boulder toss. One more boomerang out. Very greedy. Didn't have to throw that out. I think if I were maybe a little faster on the uptake there, I would have been fine, but it is what it is. Slap the face. Gonna tackle here. Actually bite, not really tackle. Do that. I'd like to spin here. Yes, get the head turn. Dodging under him. Big little taunt animation. Don't have enough gauge though yet. I have a feeling this is going to be a bit of a harder fight to actually farm enough gauge on. I don't know though. With some well-timed go fight wins and some good timed openings from the monster itself, it may not be that bad. Careful. Okay. Oh, no, wrong direction. I think if I would have dodged forward there, it would have been fine, but didn't quite happen. He's doing a back up. He may actually taunt again. Okay, that's not a taunt. I think I'm fine here. This is actually a bit scary. Okay, that's fine. I'll take it. He is enraged, so he's going to move a lot faster now. Probably really need to just try to be consistent and let him hit me. That way I'm not trying to squirrel around hitboxes with positioning and not just actually dodging. Again, he's very aggressive. He's not... you get what you get with Tigrex. There's no surprises. He is just kind of there, but he is a formidable foe at the very least. Again, thankfully, we don't have to really think about the hitboxes on the attacks too much. We just have to dodge into them. But even at that, if I'm stuck in an animation, I will still be punished for it. So it's not a free pass entirely, though the extra lives obviously always help. All right, looks like he's moving to the next area. He really likes to try to get me with that jump. It is kind of out of nowhere. I guess I kind of have to assume that if he's far away, I don't think he'll use it up close. I think it's something you can bait out, but it still is a bit blindsiding. Nice flinch. He's doing his chomp. Well, I was trying to go to Mega Boomerang on the item bar. Would have been nice to have. Unfortunately, the buttons decided they were going to hit in a different order than I intended. Of course, that's really all the fault of me, not the buttons. Sometimes. I guess there could be some other times where it's not. At the very least, if I can't use Mega Boomerangs, I can use the gauge that I do have in excess on Soothing Rolls. Like here I think is fine. He's going to chomp 2 times. Should give me enough of an opening for this. I'm going to Soothing Roll, get some health back. There's the lunge. Back up, I'll do Soothing Roll again. He's going to bite. He actually spin over this way. He's enraged, so I get a free boomerang off here. Try to clip the face and the arm there. Okay, no. I keep going for a second boomerang, and I really probably shouldn't. Not until I feel a little more confident with them. Again, I haven't really practiced these monsters. The only reason I had any amount of practice with Duramboros is because I had to unlock it. Alright, gonna apply big. That's gonna hit me. It's okay. It's the lunge. Every time it's the lunge. He is a G4 monster for a reason. Go ahead and spin. I mean, it's Tigrex. You know what Tigrex is. He's not, I'll say this, he's not as scary as he was in Freedom Unite. Freedom Unite, most monsters are just absolutely nightmares to fight. Even, you know, if you're doing like the head sniping greatsword playstyle, which makes him certainly much more trivial than the other weapons have to deal with. It is still not there's that homing tackle. It's still not a cakewalk, you know. You know you're gonna get one tap pretty quickly once he's enraged because he moves around so much, so you have to play it very safely. Okay, that did reach me. Again, I'm not playing the most respectful as I probably should. I'm gonna actually zone to heal here. Not something you see very often with cats, but I'd rather not have to walk all the way back up from camp. I'm not particularly worried if I do faint. It's more the time that I don't want to waste having to walk all the way back up. I will have to reapply boomerang buffs, so I'll have to deal with some weaker damage in the meantime, but I think I'll be fine. I'm going to try to go back to treating him like a Grimclaw and let him attack first, and then I'll actually counter him, whatever he does. Because I can't treat him like Duramboros. Duramboros, much different monster. Nice face break. Doesn't really take long to get those, thankfully. Do a spin, maybe not. I'm not really sure how common, and maybe it's just when he's enraged that the triple tackle comes out. It's kind of similar to Rathian's. Not really, though. Rathian's is a bit more annoying. It's not as telegraphed. I'll say it that way. You know when she's enraged, she does it, but Tigrex, at the very least, is slow enough and he covers enough distance that you can get a chance or a feel for it whenever it does turn around. All right, quite a while later, cut the tail off finally, and pretty much have just been taking longer than Duramboros for sure. Just hit and running him, not getting too greedy, and obviously when that happens, you know you're not getting out many Mega Boomerangs. I think the biggest difference between Tigrex and Duramboros, because I do believe Tigrex has less health. I wouldn't have made the health of Duramboros a big sticking point if it wasn't. But Tigrex doesn't have as many juicy hit zones. Maybe the face and the arms are pretty good whenever he's enraged, but not when he isn't. But less openings, you know, and the harder hit zones means that even though he has less health, the aggressiveness of the monster as well just means he's going to be taking longer. He's limping now, but, you know, it's already well past the time that it would have taken to beat Duramboros. So We'll see where he limps and see if we can take him down any faster at the very least. All right, get this revved up. I think I'm a little close. Yes. Doesn't matter though, it's all individual hits anyways, so doesn't really matter if I start with a strong hit or not. Go for a spin on the face. I still haven't carded yet, so we're gonna try to keep that going. It'd be really bad to cart right in the last 2 minutes of the hunt. I don't know, it may end up taking 10 more minutes depending on if he wants to move away or not, because sometimes he does move pretty quickly out of this area. Boomerang. Boulder toss. Couple here. I'm going to lunge into his face. At least attempt to. He did jump backwards. He's going to roar. Have to dodge that roar because it does do damage very close to him. Again, just classic Tigrex. It's actually limping forward. I hope you're not leaving again. Don't leave. Okay. Jumping backwards. Almost pulled out a Mega Boomerang there, but was not safe. I'm going to try to wait for him to taunt at the very least. Double bite. Lunge. Think I'm safe. Couple of charged boomerangs here. Dodge into this attack. Throw one out since he's turning around. Swipe. Boomerang. Get hit by the tackle. You need to reapply buffs. Again, you don't have a majorly large amount of time in between each attack. But as long as you're keen enough to know which tails go where, you should be fine. Okay, well, that was a bad time to flinch. Not flinch, but be stunned. That was really bad, actually. Okay, back with more lives, and I think he's left. Okay, now I'm back, finally. And we're gonna get hit. Awesome. Thankfully, I have the acorns back up, so I don't have to worry about immediately going down. It was just really bad timing there. The nest is also a particularly just bad area to fight him in. It's very cramped, so you can be cornered very easily, and especially with the Tigrex, who likes to spin a lot. Not great for positioning, and however it is, even with adept dodging, if you can't see what he's pulling out, you're not going to have a fun time there. Would have been a good time for a Mega Boomerang, but again, I'm trying to play very cautious, that way I don't just get steamrolled. I think I'm fine here. He should just be waddling forward, repositioning for an attack, so that should get some good damage off at the very least. And finally, 25 minutes total. Over that, probably. In fact, quite a bit over. About 26 minutes. Take him down. I'll go ahead and carve him up and meet you back at base. All right, with that out of the way, we can go ahead and look at our weapons. On the first one, it is the Duramboros Cross R, close range weapon with 237 melee attack, blue sharpness, and 40 defense with neutral affinity, I believe. And I mean, no, you're not using this. It's outclassed by a lot of other pure raw weapons. So unless you really like the design, you can maybe make something work with it. But I don't really see much happening. Maybe with handicraft. Big maybe on that though. You may as well just put like affinity up on the Beth Hammer, which you're probably already using anyways, and you'll be perfectly fine to go there. Boomerang side, it's the same thing, just worse attack at 214 boomerang attack. For the Tigrex Whammer Cross R, it's another close range weapon, purple sharpness, 225 attack with, I think that is negative 25% affinity. If I can do my math right, it's very simple math, but I can't do that sometimes. So purple sharpness, definitely unique aspect. Not going to say it's particularly amazing because that is very low affinity. You can offset it with weakness exploit as well, and also critical up small, which I don't have on this current set. So you will be in the positives, at the very least 55% if you throw all of them together. I don't know. I really don't see this being any better than any of the other weapons you can have. Certainly it is an option, but the Grimclaw, if I can find it, has 255, so that's more raw. Yes, you lose an extra 10% affinity and the purple sharpness. Maybe it's a side grade, but remember you're getting more gauge with the deviant weapon as well. I think this is just the better option of the two, maybe with the exception that the XR or Cross R Tigrex weapon is quicker to make. You can make it faster than farming all the way up to Grimclaw, and I guess on that front it may be easier to make in that front as well. Boomerang side, it's not good at all. 204 boomerang attack. That's very steep drop off compared to the close range side. So definitely not going to be using it for that at all. For the armor, the Duram Helm Cross R has 154 defense, -8 fire resistance, and -4 ice resistance with very low of the other resistances. Nothing particularly special. And then the Rex Helm Cross R has 152 defense with -8 thunder resistance, -4 dragon resistance, and -2 water resistance. So even worse than the Duramboros Helm on the negative resistances. Yes, you have a okay fire resistance at 6, but you've got better options anyways. So maybe a side grade if you are climbing through the ranks, but I think if you are taking on Hyper Tigrexes, you have better options, to say the least, around that level, especially if you have the ability to take it out solo. Either way, that is all of the currently unlocked hyper monsters that we had available to us that are not the multi-quests or the event quests as well. There are some of them. They have special stipulations like this one, Into the Maw of Darkness, has you hunting a Zenogre in the Forlorn Arena, and if you look at that little subquest, it has a subquest for a Goldathian. So I think you can tell where that one's kind of going. You certainly can go through and unlock all of the other ones. I don't think it would be that hard. You just have to find a guide, which unfortunately the quality of which are few and far between, because, or not really much. It's a varying quality of each individual guide, because you can do what it tells you to a T and you still not unlock the monster you're looking for. So, I mean, if you really want to be thorough with it, just clearing every quest in the game should get you every quest in the game as you go through the ranks. But if not, you probably will have to spend a bit of time actually looking for particular monsters. A lot of the time it is easy, you just fight the G4 version, but not always. Got 2 more major quests that I'm planning on doing. The main point here is not doing every single quest, because as long as you can do the most difficult quests solo, and that's going to be like these multi-hyper monster quests with just tons of HP, or the particular big shot monsters, I guess, if you want to refer to it like that. As long as you can defeat those solo, it's pretty much showing that you can clear the entire content of the game solo. The only exception would be arena quests, which are kind of designed around 2 players, and you can certainly beat them, you just can't get the S ranks and stuff that you need. I'm not going to go over it because it's not a particularly specific Prowler thing that you can do. There are Prowler arena quests, but I don't really find them to be necessarily, because they aren't, even for completion. Either way, thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed. If you did, please consider leaving a comment below, and maybe even consider subscribing. Until next time, have a nice day.